morning and welcome to the Waffle podcast. My name is Liz Ward. I am a crochet designer living in York in the UK with my two Bengal cats. We are on episode 25 of the podcast and today is I think the 16th or 17th of November. It's Monday. Check your calendars. Yeah, it's been a while since my last podcast. We got unexpectedly, or with only a few days notice, put into a second full lockdown in the UK, so Cal's coming. So yeah, that kind of threw me through a loop. I was just getting used to being back at work with the new job and then got put back on furlough. And yes, while it seems like a nice idea to have all the crafting time in the world, when you have all the crafting time in the world, it doesn't necessarily be the first thing you want to do. You kind of just want to go out and play with friends and do anything but sit and be inside when that's what you've done for most of the year. So yeah, it has been a bit of a sort of adjustment to get back to the fact that I'm stuck at home again, constantly, with two cats who, they're not driving me mad at all. Love them, love them, love you, Cal. Love you, we all love each other. Yeah, no, not going mad at all, no. I'm completely fine here, all fine here, as my crafting projects will demonstrate. Completely fine here. Don't send help, I'm fine, you're not allowed in anyway. Okay, I'm just gonna crack on because there's a lot to get through. You know, I still have been doing quite a bit of knitting. I've also been doing some cross stitch, but I haven't brought that up to show you, so hopefully, and it doesn't really look like much at the moment because I haven't done much. Hopefully I'll show you that next time. It's been quite good fun. And sorry for the camera wobble, that was Puka. Ooh. Yeah, both cats are now in here. Whether they will make an appearance or not is another matter. There's lots of stuff on the floor. Okay, I'm just gonna crack on. So yeah, finished objects. I have many finished objects, although quite a few of them are small and therefore technically we'll count them as one. But there's actually 4, and there was 5 because, excuse me. There was 5 because I knit another one of these and already gave it to Mum before we went into lockdown. And these are dishcloths. Yep, I have joined the knitting and crochet bandwagon that is handmade dishcloths. I could only resist it so long, I'm only human. Yeah, this dishcloth pattern is the Wondrous dishcloth by Jules of So Sweet Violet, and I've seen a lot of different podcasters making these and was interested to try it, but also I don't know, slightly put off by the fact that you're technically knitting double. This has a smooth side, so it's also covered in hair, and if you can hear that noise, that is Cal scratching at my warping board, which will make snags whenever I'm winding yarn, but let's just ignore that. It's not driving me insane. They're not driving me insane. They're driving me insane. Oh Cal, please don't do that. This is 2 seconds of her scratching, it'll be 3 hours of me sanding it. Dishcloths. Okay. Yeah, so this is knit almost like you would knit a sock on magic loop, and you're doing a texture pattern on one side and plain stockinette on the other, and then as you are going you are joining them together so that they are not baggy. You know, they bag up, they do a little bit, but so yeah, and then that way you get a double thickness, which for me, for dishcloths or washcloths, whatever you want to use something like this for, you kind of want that thickness. I think the garter stitch ones are nice, but I wouldn't personally use them. And that's why I want to try this pattern. I've also done crochet ones in the past. I have lots of crochet patterns for washcloths and scrubbies and things like that. I'm just not in a crochet mood at the moment, so I wanted to knit these. I did think they would take quite a while to knit, but in a sort of sit down and knit for a little bit session, I can pretty much get half of one of these done and then half the next. And what I've been doing is as soon as I finish one, I just cast another one on. Just so it's always there on the needles, and if I don't want to think about what I am knitting, I can pick this up because the pattern's in my head now and I'm just finding it really easy and really enjoyable. I have been adding a little crochet. Oh, there you go. I have done crochet. Look at that. Look, I did crochet. I've been adding a little crochet loop. So you finish these with Kitchener stitch, bind off, and when I get to the last 2 stitches, I just leave a really long tail of yarn and I pick up with a crochet hook those 2 stitches and then just chain. And then I sew it together to form a little loop. That isn't in the pattern, I have added that. This first one that I knitted doesn't have that. There's also slight mistakes in all of them. It's a double moss stitch is the stitch. And yeah, I'm just using scraps of cotton yarn. I've got all sorts, drops, sheepies, Rico, all sorts I've got from the various amigurumi projects. So these are great for using up scraps. And yeah, I will show you one more in works in progress when I get to that. But yeah, so technically 4 finished objects, but washcloths. These will probably be the mainstay of Christmas presents this year. I just think it's quite a nice thing to have reusable washcloths, because you can chuck them in the washing machine and you're not using plastic things, which we're all trying to do less of. So yeah, 4 finished objects to start this already hectic and crazy podcast. I finished the shawl. This, I think I showed this shawl on my last episode. This is the All About Brioche shawl. Pattern details will be on the screen and in the description segment. Words. Yeah, pattern details will be on the screen and in the description down below, where there are links to everything I talk about that I remember to put the link for. If I forget, just leave the comment or send me a message and I will give you the details. I do try and pick up everything I've said, but I don't get it all the time. So this is an asymmetric shawl. I'll put it on in a mo, I just want to show it off. And it has brioche in it. So this is my second completed brioche pattern. Not pattern, design, no. It is a brioche pattern, but by saying that I feel like it's my pattern and it's not my pattern. Rambling, waffling, that's what the podcast is all about. Shut up, Liz. Yeah, so it's an asymmetric shawl. This is knit in Fruitful Fusions yarn, from yarn that I got when I met Ishrat at the British Wool Show, which is just outside York. And yeah, I picked these up for my Raven shawl, but they've just been always wanting to be in a shawl together, and I decided to use them for this. It's very low contrast. I've started off in the paler colour. I can't remember the colour names. If I can, I'll put them on the screen, although that will mean rummaging and that might not happen. Yeah, so you start at this end with very few stitches and you work in garter, increasing as you go until you get to this section here where you do the brioche. And this was my second ever brioche project. I think I showed the last one on the last episode. So I'm a bit of a novice when it comes to brioche, but I managed this okay. There was no real drama. I actually quite enjoyed it at one point. And yeah, my goal to have a brioche project on the needles all the time has slightly fallen by the wayside because I just haven't had a chance to cast on what I'm going to knit next, which is the Junction Sweater by, somebody shout it, Andrea Mowry? Yeah, well done. Yeah, the Junction Sweater by Andrea Mowry, which is a really nice colourwork sweater, but it has a brioche yoke. I have the yarn ready, I have the needles ready, it is in a project bag, it is just not cast on yet. And there is a reason for that you will see in a moment. So yeah, the brioche section in this, you start adding with the main colour and then you switch. So, because I don't need to explain brioche to you. There's a dominant colour and a non-dominant colour. Yeah, and that switches halfway through, so you get the contrast colour being more dominant here and the colour that I started with, this paler one, being more dominant here. Excuse me while I hide behind the shawl and do a burp. And then it finishes with the main colour. It did not use all of the 200-gram skeins that I used, there was a tiny bit left over. I've managed to put a square into my mitered square blanket of each of them, and there's still a little bit left. So I could have gone longer with this second colour to make it a bit longer, but it's big enough, it's finished. I will put it on so you can have a look how I would wear it. So I would just do the old cowboy flippy roundy thing and go like that. So you've actually got the brioche section at the front, which is kind of nice because it's so squishy, and I really do love this colour. And yeah, it's nice. It's a merino singles, I don't know if I said that, and I think it was a 4mm needle, although I'm not 100% sure on that. But yeah, the pattern is a paid for pattern and really good if you are a bit of a nervous briocher. Yeah, give it a go. I recommend it as a pattern. It's nice. It gives you enough brioche to get your teeth into and feel comfortable with, without there being too much sort of, we're doing stuff, you know, we're increasing, we're decreasing, we're moving around, we're going all over the place. It's nice and simple. Yeah, I was quite happy with it. And I'm actually quite looking forward to casting on my next brioche project, which will be, as I say, the Junction Pullover Sweater by Andrew Harry. Alright, if I'm wrong, it'll be in the doobly-doo. That is on the screen. Wow, so not used to podcasting. Oh, and the sun's come out, so that might cause drama in a minute. Right, onwards and upwards. I have 2 more finished objects. And I'm going to start with these. If you're a regular viewer of the podcast, hello. Lovely to see you again. You will recognise this pattern because this probably is about the 4th time I've knit it. It is the Whispers in the Wall Socks by Kay Jones of the Bakery Bears. And I have not again done the pattern on the back. There is like a sword design or something that goes down the back. Haven't bothered with that. And I have just knit the rest to pattern. And this is a Christmas colourway, so this is going to go into my festive box of socks, which I will do a video in December showing you how far I am with that. It's not going to be completed this year, but I will do a video showing you what's in it so far later on. But yeah, this yarn was by Glendale Fibres, and I think colourway was Winter Wonderland. And it's a really nice sort of wintry blue with speckles, and I don't know if you can see, I'll get this right up in your grill, so you might be able to see just there, there are some little specks of red in here as well as the blues, which is really nice. And I love speckles like that, where it's just like a little surprise every now and then and you're just like, ooh, a little bit of red, how pretty. So yeah, I really like these. It's 64 stitches, 2.25mm needles, as per usual. That is my sock of choice, although there's been a lot of all those so far today. I have had a bit of a weird thing with socks. I used to be a bit of a squirreler. I'd squirrel them away and sort of be like, oh, I'll wear them at some point, I'll wear them. And I've started to wear them. Started to wear my socks. Not the Christmas socks, they are very much all squirreled away. But one thing I have noticed is I'm not 100% sure how much I like the gauge and the size I'm getting with 64 stitches. They're a bit big on my feet. Not long or, you know, ill-fitting that way. They just don't feel as sucky in as sort of just commercial socks, you know. I like that sort of this feeling. What is this feeling? Everybody say a word. Yeah, that sort of grippy, the tightness. But yeah, so I've started to experiment a little bit, and I've gone down to 60 stitches on some things I am doing at the mo. And I now just have to remember that I'm knitting these for me or I'm knitting them for mum, because I've already made that mistake once, as you will find out soon. So yeah, these are Whispers in the Wall Socks. I cannot say how much I love this pattern, although I do seem to on every single podcast. These fly off the needles. It's got lovely lace, so simple. You do need a stitch counter. That is the only thing. As long as you've got a stitch counter and know what row you're on, after you've sort of done about 2 repeats of this pattern, you'll have remembered it. It's really easy. So simple. Can't recommend it enough. Absolutely love it. And I'm really pleased with these because it's a bit of a different colour going into my festive box of socks. Something blue and wintry and moody and nice. Yeah. Okay, so one more finished object. Okay, these are looking a little bit baggy on these sock blockers, or handmade sock blockers. It's just cardboard. But that was because I was yet again experimenting, and I think I might have made these a little bit too long in the foot. These are socks for my mum, and they were knit in this amazing yarn by Siobhan's Craft, and Siobhan's Craft dyed this up for me specially. It was a mini that came in her opposites tract set, and she dyed it up a full skein for me. It's very similar to her charcoal rainbow, just quite a bit darker, and I got a skein of her riot colourway for the toes and the heels. And these were knit as a sock tube, and I did 4, no, hang on, we'll get there. 4, no, 4, no, no, I can't say the word, I can't say. A lovely viewer commented that it's also known as a peasant heel, which we're going to go with. We love that. Yeah, we'll call it a peasant heel. It's I can't say the word forethought now because it just doesn't sound like a word. No. Think Thor, think Marvel. No, Thor. It's not working. It's not coming in my head. You're all shouting it at me. I can hear you. Yeah, but you know when you do an afterthought heel, but you just put some yarn in that you can then easily take out, so you don't have to do all the measuring when you come to put your afterthought heel in. That's what I did here. It's called a peasant heel. We're going to go with that. It's a peasant heel. Thank you to that lovely commenter, because I can't say those words. Okay. Yeah, so it's an afterthought heel, but I thought about it beforehand. Oh no! It's going well, Liz, it's going well. The cats have disappeared, they've given up on me. Yeah, so these are finished. I mean, I say they're finished, I'm fairly sure there's some ends to weave in. Yeah, there are ends to weave in. So, does anybody else leave some ends to weave in to when you're wrapping stuff? Especially if it's for a present and you're just like, yeah, they're done. And then you get to wrap it and you're just like, oh yeah, I left myself a little gift to do. It's not good, is it? Right, yeah, so that's it. Finished objects. Technically 7 finished objects. Okay, so I'm going to move on to works in progress, and I'm going to start with the Slipstravaganza shawl, which is in this lovely bag, and this is by the Woolly Tangle, I think. It does have a... Can you see that? Yep, the Woolly Tangle. This is a really lovely bag that I treated myself to, and my Slipstravaganza is in here. And Cal, are you coming up? Cal, don't just sit in a bag. I can't actually show you what she's doing, but she... Well, I'll go get her. I didn't do this. She did it herself. She just came in and got in the bag. Gosh, you're bonkers. Honestly, I'm fine. They're not driving me mad. Go sit on it here. Poop. Cow. Calm down. Hey, calm down. Come on. Oh, she's being chased by Puka. It's a big thing. When there's cats around, I get very nervous of my Stephen West shawls, although there's been no big dramas this time. Yeah, this beast is in here. I think it's only attached to one ball of yarn. Yeah, this is my main colour, which I dyed myself. I'll show you my other colours as well. This is Under Pressure by Black Elephant. Sorry, some of these are prettily wound and some of them are decreasing cakes. This is another one by Black Elephant. I think it was a one of a kind. I don't think it had a colourway name. This is by Queen Fibres, and again I'm not sure it had a colourway name, but it is glorious. And this is another yarn that I dyed up myself, following the tutorial that Kay Jones from the Bakery Bears did on a yarn called Fairy Wings. I think it was her favourite colourway, the first episode, and that's what I dyed up with that. Love it. So those, technically you're only supposed to be using 3 colours, or that's what it gives you. I had got the 4th colour thinking I might swap it out, but he gives you opportunities to put more colour in, so I just decided to do that and put all of them in, and I'm happy with that. So yeah, enough about the yarn. You want to see this beast. Okay, so the last, if you watched the vlog, the first one, you will have seen this first piece, which was the first clue. I did film a second vlog, but yeah, life happened and it never got sorted out. So yeah, that is the first clue, this lovely honeycomb section. And then we had a mystery clue, which did these big eyelets, and this like woven slip stitch pattern here, checkerboard, almost like a tartan pattern, really nice. Then I'm going to try and do this without it falling off the needles. It is quite huge. It got huge really pretty quickly, did this shawl. Then we have this diamond and stripe section here, and this has all those contrast colours in. You can see there. And then this section is more sort of stripy slip stitches. I love this section actually. I don't know if I can get you close. Ignore the triangles, although we'll get to those in a minute. This section here, I just think it would work really well for like some sort of cobweb design, so I might steal that and use it in something. Yeah, and then these triangles, and now it's just these stripes. And these stripes are going to take me forever. Currently we're about 900 plus stitches on the needles. I will demonstrate the length of these rows. And these are 3.5mm needles. And it takes me about 45 minutes to knit a row at the moment. So he does give you an option for knitting a smaller border, but I would at least like to get all the colours into it. And even that is going to take about 30 hours of knitting time just to do that, just to get all 4 colours in. Which is, it's a lot of knitting time. But yeah, I mean, the colours are just so beautiful. So that's that Under Pressure by Black Elephant, and that's the other one by Black Elephant. Yeah. I have not really had any problems with this so far. It's all been fairly straightforward. The only thing that was a bit of a mishap was these triangles, because despite reading the instructions and watching the very helpful videos that Stephen West does, maybe I didn't watch the video, maybe that's where I went wrong with this. Anyway, read the pattern, and I'd seen pictures of it at this point, and what I didn't do is I didn't see the part in the pattern where it has stitches in between each triangle. So I pretty much did the whole row of triangles, takes some time, and there was no gaps in between them all, and obviously those gaps are really important. So I think I nearly had done the full row of triangles and I had to take them all out and start again. That was a moment of, yeah, not right now. But also, I know how my brain works. If I hadn't have picked those up and started doing them straight away, it would have lived in the naughty corner for God knows how long. And so I did it. Massive pat on the back, I ripped them all out, I picked it up, I started knitting them again properly, and I knit them all again in that same knitting sitting time. I had a numb bum by the end of it, but I did it. So yeah, I know, halo polish and everything like that, yeah. So yeah, after that, I think I deserve to just as and when for these final stripes. So yeah, it won't be long before this is finished. It will take forever just to do these stripes. It is beautiful. I love it. I love the colours I chose. I can't wait to wear this. It's just want to wear it. I have been following the technique that Stephen West gives for weaving in your ends, something I hadn't tried before. And what he has you do is you're going to twist any loose ends around your working yarn as you're working the first few stitches of the row. It's probably a technique loads of people know. I'd never heard of it before. And yeah, I've played around with it and made it my own, so sometimes I'm like twisting back on myself so I know it's anchored in there. Ooh, there's a magpie there. You can't see that, sorry. There's a window behind you and there's a magpie. I love magpies. I know people think they're unlucky, but I just think they're really pretty. Yeah. So, yeah, I have been using that technique for weaving in ends, and it's great on short scrappy socks and things like that. It's really cool. And also I've been using it on my mitered square blanket. Game changer, absolute game changer. Yeah, not going to be spending days weaving in ends on that. So that was a needle hitting the desk. Okie doke. Right, I am just going to pause and get some water because otherwise I will be coughing through the next bit, and then I'll be back and I'll show you the knitting embodiment of my madness. See you in a mo. Right, I'm back. So, the project that I'm mainly working on at the moment, although technically it is on pause. If you did watch my vlog that I did, you do get a rare glimpse of Richard, who is my friend, and he is also the person that I am in a bubble with. So he's the human I get to see during lockdown, which is great. And you get to see him in the cable jumper that I knit for him. Because now that it is technically wintry here, he is wearing it, and he is wearing it a lot. I think the last few times I've seen him, he's been wearing this jumper. I'm not 100% happy on the fit with him. I'll put a picture in of the finished jumper here. I don't have a picture of him wearing it, but it is in that video if you want to see it on him. He is, the neckline is too big for him and it's a bit long for him. Now, technically, if I took that neckline off and made it shorter, it would shorten it in the body as well. He won't let me do that because, as he says, he's not that fussed about it. In other words, he doesn't want me faffing around with it now. He's pretty much living in it. So, fine. But also, he's in the past been someone who I enjoy knitting for, but it's very difficult to knit for because he doesn't wear hats. He's not fussed about knitted socks because socks are socks. He doesn't see the difference. He can only... Yeah, I've made him gloves. I really enjoyed making him gloves. He uses those, but he doesn't need more gloves. Yeah, so I enjoy knitting for people. I especially enjoy knitting for people if they wear stuff. And so I did moot the point of how I would feel about another jumper because he is wearing the one that I knit for him. And I jokingly said, well, if we have another lockdown, I'll knit you another jumper. This was before. I didn't think we were going to have this second one. And yeah. So when the news went out that we were heading into a second lockdown, I was like, right, what do you want? Because I'm not doing cables again. I enjoyed doing the cables in that one, but I'm hoping this is going to be a shorter lockdown. Although technically. Yeah. So I gave him the options of a baseball style sweater with different colour sleeves to the body, a high-necked one with like a zippy thing here, or a hoodie, and he chose a hoodie. The pattern that I showed him is, I think it's the Bare Necessities by Max the Knitter. Pattern details and picture will be here. He will not go for that colour work. I mean, I would love to knit that colour work, but he won't go for that. So I've gone plain, and I've also had to adapt it because if this picture is still here, I'm hoping. This is a colour work yoke, and so the increases are hidden in that colour work. And I am going to do it plain, and if you do plain knitting with increases all over, they're quite visible. So I decided to go raglan instead. So I've pretty much taken this pattern and the, flax light pattern. Ooh, can I bring that in here? Flax light pattern. And I have meshed them together, and this is where I am. Oh, and the other thing is, I decided to knit myself a ridiculous and self-imposed speed knitting challenge. So I want to see how quickly I can knit this jumper. And what you're about to see is 3.5 days work. Admittedly, sitting on my arse all day, pretty much just working on this. I'm still doing my mitered square every morning, and I have been doing bits around the house and other things that need to be doing. But other than that, I am just knitting on this. And this is what it is like after 3.5 days. I'm laughing because it's nearly finished. Well, it's not nearly finished. I am currently doing the sleeves 2 at a time. It's really dark, so it's going to blow out like mad and make me look like a ghost. So I will show you this the best I can. Yeah, so I have started with a provisional cast on because I'm going to pick that up and do a hood. I have then done raglan increases, which I can show you better on the back because then the sleeves aren't in the way. So if we can... So I've done raglan increases instead, and there was quite a lot of fudging in here. I knew what I was starting with, I knew what I wanted to end up at. I tried to be as even as possible on those increases, but some rows it was just like, yeah, just do an increase because we need to get to the body section, needs to be bigger. And I am slightly worried this might be a bit tight on this area because it was only until I got to about sort of here that I realised I wasn't increasing these front stitches fast enough, and I was going to end up with a really narrow body and big sleeves, which would have been hilarious, but I don't think would have been appreciated. So I am knitting this out of yarn that I had in stash. It is Drops Alaska, I think. It's a DK weight yarn. And I have progress keepers to show my daily progress. So the Flux Capacitator is a stitch marker by Game Crafting. It was in a mystery book, mystery club, and that is day 1's progress. So that, and then day 2 we have this little neon Corona bottle by Yarnology. And so on day 2 I was able to split for the sleeves and then start working the body in the round. And then day 3 is this Moana one. I'm now hiding behind it, and that was just straight down the body. A lot of telly watching that day. Sorry I'm so pale. I am still here, I haven't disappeared. Yeah, so that was day 3. I have another day's work in the body, definitely. It's on holders at the moment. I'm using my Chow Goose for this, and it's 4mm needles that I'm using throughout. So yeah, I've got another full day knitting the body. The sleeves I picked up and started knitting 2 at a time, and this is half a day's work. I have also now run out of yarn. This challenge is on pause until more yarn arrives. I think it'll be Wednesday. If you want to keep up with my daily progress on this, please follow my Instagram. I am Lizward Crafts on Instagram. And yeah, I decided to knit the sleeves 2 at a time because I've never done it before. It is a bit of a faff, but I'm very much enjoying the faff the fact that when I am done, both sleeves are done. No picking up the second sleeve and going forever. And I'm also getting faster now. Like I said, this is just half a day's knitting, and that is the armpit there. So I'm about a good third of the way done on these sleeves. It is raglan, so they're not quite as long as you think they are. Yeah, I think because obviously this measurement to your wrist is a lot longer than this measurement to your wrist, and it's not going to be right up in the armpit, it's going to be a bit. So yeah, I don't have that I think technically a day on the body, another day finishing the sleeves and cuffs and picking up for the hood, and a day to finish the hood, because the hood's going to be pretty big. It's like knitting a really big hat. And I think there's short rows in there, not 100% sure, no idea how to make a hood. We'll cross that bridge when I come to it. But technically, I reckon I can get this done in another 3 days, which means I've knit this. I haven't done it yet. I have not done it yet. I'll have knit this whole man's huge size sweater in a week. And for some reason, having that achievement in my head, which has not happened yet, is really inspiring me to knit this and knit this fast and it be all I knit. And the other reason that I picked this up and knit it was because I was casting on way too many things and not filming a podcast. So I was just like, you're not allowed to cast on anything else and knit on anything until you finish this jumper. So that is the current knitting that is happening, although like I say, it's on pause until more yarn turns up. And yeah, it's going to be a really nice jumper. But I mean, I had no measurements going into this. I managed to measure him yesterday when he was over. But going into this, I had no measurements other than a vague memory of his chest measurement from when I knit the other sweater. So this was all guesswork. So if it fits him, it's a miracle. But also if it doesn't, I'm happy to wear it. It'll be oversized, it'll be lovely. I'm happy. Sorry about the grumbly cats and waffling, but this podcast is named this for a reason. You didn't have much to do today, did you? Because I mean, we ain't finished yet. There is more. Do I have anything that's not a sock left to talk to you about? No. All socks. Right, I'm tidying slightly and finding a sock blocker. Okay, what are we starting with? Oh, it's not a sock. This is my current dishcloth that is on the needles. Has hair on it because everything has hair on it. Yeah, so this is in this nice aubergine colour. Again, it's like I said before, it's the Wondrous Dishcloth by Jules of So Sweet Violet, and yeah, haven't got very far on it. I think this is one of the Sheepies Katona, like little 25g balls. You can get these out of the 25g balls, which is really nice. I'm gonna burp now all the way through. Yeah, I think I did one less pattern repeat to get them out of the 25g, but I mean, look how cute these are. They're the cutest thing ever. Just so cute. Yeah, I've got loads of cotton yarn and I was using up loads of scraps, but these are just so cute, so I might have added a few to my orders when I've been doing a wool warehouse order, because there's lots of colours and they're really cute and they make nice dishcloths. I don't need to explain myself. You guys understand. Okay, so we have socks. We have socks. We have socks. I'm going to start with my Strictly socks, which are in this very hologramic. No, that's not a word. Iridescent bag, which is actually, I think, like a pencil case that came from Don't start a sentence when you don't know the end of it. Came from a shop. Yeah, like a home shop. It was from a home shop, and Mum will know. It's a shop she likes. That's helpful. It's not the range. Wilko. It's from Wilkinson's is what it's called, but to us it's Wilko's. And yeah, tangent. Okay, so one of these is already finished, so I will put it on a blocker. Okay, so I have these to show you. These are my Strictly socks. No, that's not working. I have these. These are my Strictly socks. Strictly Dancing. What's it called? It's a programme. Strictly Come Dancing is a very popular show in the UK, and I think you have Dancing with the Stars in the US and various other spin-offs of it around the world. And I cast these on to be part of the Strictly Sock Along, which is run by Ali of Little Drops of Wonderful podcast, which I love her podcast. It's such a great one. And I've never joined in the Strictly Sock Along. The idea is that you knit a pair of socks while watching that year's Strictly. Sorry about the cats, they're having a Barney. Do you want to tell Puka off? She's just beating up her sister. People at home are going to tell you off, Puka. Right, I'll shove her over there. She won't stay. Yeah, so yeah, that's the premise. You're allowed to cheat. You don't have to just knit on it while watching Strictly, but that is what I've been trying to do this year. I don't always watch it, but I am this year. There's a couple of people in that I really like. There is Bill Bailey, who is a brilliant comedian that I've been a fan of for many years. And there is Jamie Lang, who is a regular on the TV show Made in Chelsea. That is one of those weird programmes that I would never think I would enjoy, yet completely obsessed with. Absolutely love Made in Chelsea. Don't like any other programmes in that ilk. It's very much a sort of, like, it's a dramatised real life thing. So, you're following people's real lives, but there are situations that are made up for drama purposes. Yeah, kind of like the Keeping Up with the Kardashians type thing, which I've never watched, have no interest in ever watching, but Made in Chelsea, that's my jam. Totally. Yeah, anyway, tangent. Yeah, so these are my Strictly socks, and I have one finished, and I have nearly finished the second one. Strictly, it is Monday today, and Strictly is on Saturday and Sunday night, and so I got pretty far with these. These I am doing with 60 stitches, as I was mentioning before, and I've just done a normal heel flap and gusset. I am quite chuffed with that pickup on there. Can you get in with that? As I've started wearing my socks, I've started to notice that the ones that I knit a few years ago when I was quite a novice with sock knitting, some of the sort of pickups and stuff aren't that great. So yeah, it's the sort of thing I'm starting to notice more, the fact that it's like, ooh, look at that, that's rather nice. Yeah, I am not 100% convinced on the fit of these either, but these actually are for Mum. And they were for Mum when I cast them on, so I don't know why I cast them on 60 stitches, I just was, yeah. But yeah, she picked these out as this yarn for her, so yeah, they are my Strictly socks. When they are finished, I will cast on another pair. I have not chosen the yarn for those yet, but we shall see. Yeah, this is a little project bag that I got from Gemma, who is the little grey girl. You can see her tag there. And this is one of the ones that she did for Halloween. It is dainty and cute and adorable, and in my head, I'm that girl there. Yeah, I just really like this. And so I cast on a pair of socks for Halloween in the not quite so fresh zombie colourway that I showed in the last episode's yarn haul. This is a yarn by Your Mama Knits, and it is one that I've had a mini of and put a couple of squares into various mitered square blankets, and I just love it every time I knit with it. So I wanted some for socks, and I thought Halloween socks would be the right way to go. Okay, and I have one of these done as well, and this is kind of a pattern that I might be working on. It is a toe up sock, I know, toe up, and it has lace on it. Yeah, you have to cast on the washcloths using the toe up cast on, the sort of loopy loopy thing, which I'd done once and found really easy and then could never do again. But I sort of got the hang of it for the washcloths, hence I'm doing the washcloths, otherwise they just wouldn't exist. So when it came to casting on some socks, I thought, well, why not do some toe up ones? Now I can actually cast them on properly. And this is the first one. It is 60 stitches again. This is the, oh no, it's not Coop Knits actually. This is the yarn I dyed up. Woo! And I had a 20-gram mini, and I've done a twisted 2x2 rib to finish off and a sewn bind off. I know, I'm so fancy. Never done that before. It's so easy. I think Erica, my knitting friend, has many times said to me, it's so easy, and I've just been, yeah, I'm not faffing with that. I'm just not doing that. I'm not. It's really easy. Give it a go. Really easy. Yeah, so this is just a yarn over and knit two together, slip, slip, knit type pattern. If I take it off and put it, oh my god, the cats. If I do it like that, then you get a better idea of it. It kind of looks like footprints, like rows of footprints, and I thought it was kind of cool for sort of like zombies trudging along. So yeah, it sort of was adapted from a stitch directory and sort of put together, and I kind of like the look of it, and I'm kind of really into this sock. It's also really easy. It's one of those lace patterns where you knit it a couple of times and you just kind of get it. Plus there's only like, hang on. Is it a 6-row repeat? I think it's a 6-row repeat. It's been a while since I actually knit on this. I think it's a 6-row repeat, and only 2 of those rows have any like bits in. Any yarn overs and stuff like that. The rest is just like knits and purls. Excuse me. Yeah, the rest is just knits and purls. So it's really easy, and I think it's lovely, and I just love this yarn. I am slightly obsessed with Your Mama Knits yarn at the moment. I keep stalking her website to see what other bits she's got in, especially bits like this which have the amazing speckles. I really want something else like this. I do have some of her minis which I'm currently putting into my blanket, and obviously every time I put one in I'm just like, yeah, I want a full skein of this. I want a full skein of this. And the second sock has been cast on. It has, technically it has. I have not got far with it, and that was a few days ago when I cast that on, mainly because I have been knitting on the jumper, because I haven't been allowed to knit on anything else while knitting on the jumper, because it's a ridiculous self-imposed speed knitting challenge. So yeah, all my other sort of knitting projects are kind of like, oh yeah, I remember I was knitting on that. Well, when was that? Oh yeah, 4 days ago. No idea what was going on. But yeah, it's in my little grey girl bag, and it makes me very happy. Obviously Halloween has passed now, but it's not like I'm going to put this away and not knit on it till next year. I'll knit on it till they're done, and then I'll probably knit another pair in something else to just test the pattern, and yeah, maybe think about releasing that as a pattern. Don't know, let me know what you think. We'll call it zombie socks for now, so if you want to comment on it, just leave me a comment about the zombie socks and tell me whether you like it, what you think. Okay. What else have I got? What's in here? Is that all I brought up, sock-wise? It is. I have slightly pruned the whips, so I'm not talking about 20 different whips in this episode. There are other things that I have been working on. There is another sweater that I've cast on that I'm not showing you. Again, if you want to see all these things, you can check out my Instagram, where I tend to shamelessly show everything I'm casting on. But yeah, I have cast on another pair of Christmas socks, and I have finished one. This is yarn by Ducky Darlings, who I love, and it is one of her mystery box ones. And the colour's not showing great, that's a bit better. And the colourway was Cobblers, and it was an Elves and a Shoemaker colourway. And while it wasn't particularly Christmassy, I thought it's going in the Christmas box because it's red and green and I like it. And I have knit the traffic light patterns, which I think is by Sandra D, but I'll put it on the screen anyway. And it is a free pattern on Ravelry, which is, I've just noticed this actually, because I actually saw Hayley knitting a pair of is it the Do-Si-Do socks by Kay, the Crazy Sock Lady? It's very similar. This has yarn overs, which that one doesn't, and I think the direction might be slightly different. But very similar pattern. But yeah, this has eyelets in, which you can see through there because I've lined this up so well, with no intention to do so whatsoever. And yeah, these again were knit toe up because I wanted to cast these on and I didn't want to do a heel. And I think that's why we do toe up socks, isn't it? And this was an opal yarn. It was one of the perfect ones. I can't, if you can go back into one of the early episodes where I knit the perfect socks, and this was a bit left over from that. And it's kind of rustic, and I think it goes really well. I could have picked out a red or a green, but I couldn't find one that matched, that I liked enough. So I went with this one. Yeah, so the second sock has been cast on. It is just a toe. I think I'll crack on with these later today, because I think editing will happen tomorrow. So once I've finished recording, I'm going to sit and knit on these and get up to the heel. I didn't do a afterthought or peasant heel on these. I just did a short row heel when I got to it, because I find that fairly easy to do and I enjoyed that. And I did the same sewn bind off because it's really easy. It's really easy, Erica. It's really easy. Sorry. Yeah, so what I'm going to show today, that is the whip situation. So I do have acquisitions to talk about, and one I'm not going to show, but I have treated myself to an advent calendar and a 12 Days of Christmas. The advent calendar is by Ducky Darlings, of course it is. It is here, it is downstairs. I'm hiding it from the cats and I'm not getting it out because, yeah, Puka, like, as soon as I opened the box, like, Puka just dove in it and I was just like, this... So yeah, it is in a place the cats can't get to, and I'm probably gonna open that on my Instagram stories every day of December. I don't think I'll be doing Vlogmas, but never say never, because, yeah, never say never. Yeah, and then I got a 12 Days of Christmas, so that will carry on after Christmas Day for the 12 days, and that was from Siobhan's Crafts, and I got that in her update yesterday, and that's space themed, so, oh, yes please. The other thing that I have is, if you remember this from last year, this is the Whamageddon bag from the Yarn Badger, and she has done it again. She has dyed up a 24 striped self-striping yarn to knit a stripe a day on advent socks. And I'm not going to show the yarn, even though Liz has shown it on her Instagram feed, and that was a day of me avoiding Instagram because I didn't want to see it. Yeah, I've got everything in that came with it in here, and oh, hang on, post. Oh, let's go to sleep, let's go to sleep, let's go to sleep. Well, that was a grown human trying to dash downstairs for the postman when my foot's gone to sleep because I've been sitting on it. I also have to pick up Puka when I answer the door now because she just dashes out into the street, and yeah, I don't want a squished cat. There's a road out there. So I had to pick up Puka, find the keys, and nearly fall downstairs with my foot. But yes, also, more yarn's just arrived. So yeah, acquisitions. This is Advent Knitting 24 stripe self-striping yarn. Very excited. Came with lots of goodies. And yeah, I was massively stalking her update, so I think I got one of the first batches, although she did do a pre-order I think after that. But yeah, it is in my bag that I got from her from last year. And at some point I'll show you last year's Advent socks, because I have those in my Christmas box of socks. Should we open this? It's just arrived. I know what it is. I ordered a mystery pack from Dye Candy, a 3 skein pack. I'm hoping they're all different colours, but I have no idea. But yeah, you will get my genuine reaction. I wanted to treat myself for some Dye Candy yarn, because I love her yarn, and I just wanted a yarny treat. So that's what I did, and it's arrived just now. So I think there's a single ply. Yeah. So this is what this is. It's just literally just arrived. Ooh! There's an Aran. Ooh. Okay, there is a single ply. Oh, yes. This is the colourway Best of 7. And yeah, what I was saying before is I wanted to cast on some socks in Dye Candy yarn, and I couldn't pick on her website, but she has an option for 3 random skeins at a reduced price, so that's what I picked. And this is a single ply, and it's orange and green. What am I going to do with this? It's going to have to be a shawl. Maybe another one of these. Have I got anything that would go with it? We'll get to that another day. There is an Aran in the colourway Menace. This is a hat. It's definitely a hat. Oh my god, that's beautiful. If you have an Aran weight hat pattern, can you leave me a comment? Because my mind's just gone blank as to what hat is Aran weight, and all I'm thinking is DK ones. What am I knitting? Because I'm knitting this like now. No. I can't. Yes, I can. Maybe. Okay, what's the last one? Ooh, Rainfall. Ooh, this is pretty. This is pretty. And there's neon. There's neon. There's neon. Yeah. Oh, that's pretty. Yeah, so that is my mystery 3 skein pack. So I've got single ply, I've got an Aran, and I've got a sock yarn. Oh, it's an MCN actually. Twisty MCM. It's really nice. I can hear Mum saying that she wants socks in this. So I heard. But there's enough for 2 pairs. So yeah, I wanted Dye Candy socks, and this is going to be my next Dye Candy socks. And so this is going to be my next Strictly sock cast on. That was a bit of unexpected fun. But I do have more acquisitions because it's lockdown. I need treats. I need yarny treats to get me through. Don't worry, this isn't full of yarn. If only. This you didn't see on the last one because it hadn't arrived yet because it was on a pre-order. It is Sable Yarns. I'm going to have to speed up because I'm going to run out of battery. It is a self-striping yarn, and it comes caked, and it is like dark with then stripes of neon. So it's going to be quite similar to those ones I showed you at the beginning that I knit for Mum. But a bit sort of cleaner because this is a self-striping. That will be cast on soon. When looking for yarn for my Strictly socks, I didn't have anything sparkly. So I had a look on Etsy, and I found this brand which is Felt Fusions. And I picked up this one because it's bright and ridiculous and sparkly. And it is the colourway Lady Glitter Sparkles, which I'm fairly sure is from Trolls. Yeah, haven't seen the second Trolls film. Really want to, but I'm not going to pay a fortune to watch it. And it has cameos by the brothers McElroy in. If there are any Mabimbam fans watching, we are one family. And yes, very much. Yeah, so if there are any Mabimbam fans watching, also major fan here. Yeah, love that podcast. So yeah, that is my main reason for wanting to watch the second Trolls film, because the brothers are in it. I know they only have tiny cameos. I've heard all their cameos. Okay, and I needed more glitter because I didn't have any. And Giddy Yarns was doing an update. And this is one of Helen's. Helen is the dyer behind Giddy Yarns, and she also has a podcast which I watch. This is one of her Halloween colourways. It is called Haunting. It is oranges and black speckles and just, yes, thank you very much. This, yeah, not sorry. I try and resist yarn that Hayley dyes up. Hayley is the dye behind Ducky Darlings. I fail when it comes to stuff like this. This is her Monster Mash colourway. She posted it on Instagram and I purchased it instantly without thinking because look, I don't think she's got any of this left, but if you nag her, I'm sure she probably will dye up some more. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I'm just going to enjoy having it in my life. It might become Halloween socks next year. That would be something to look forward to. And finally, in my acquisitions, I have another self-striping yarn by the Yarn Badger. And this is her Rainbow Cake colourway, which she did as a special for her birthday. I didn't get it that time because one of the other ones I have, which is a seaside one, was quite similar because it has the sort of white stripes in between. So I didn't get it then. But she's then re-released it on this new base, which is merino silk and cashmere, and the colours have come out a bit paler. It is absolutely gloriously, beautifully soft and it's just, and I thought these would be really nice treat socks for Mum, and obviously she didn't just hear that because so she hopefully won't know about this. Yeah, I thought these would be lovely treat socks for Mum because they're going to be so soft and amazing. So I picked this up and yeah, I know there's enough in 100 gram skeins to get 2 pairs of socks out of, so a treat for Mum, bonus treat for me. Yeah, I'm really pleased with this. It's so soft. It's just... So yeah, that is everything. We are pretty much up to date. There are a few things you haven't seen, but you'll see them on next time's podcast. My camera is flashing at me that the battery is dying, so I'm going to wrap this up relatively speedy now. Life stuff. I'm in lockdown, I'm sitting, I'm knitting and watching telly. If you've got any recommendations for books, for what to watch on telly, anything to do, please leave a comment. So yeah, we are still trying to get to that, sorry I've just climbed up on the chair, I'll probably cut that bit out. We are still trying to get to the 1000 subscriber mark so I can open the community tab. That way, if I do have to take a little break from posting these, I mean, they're never going to be massively regular anyway, I will be able to put something on the channel so you'll be able to see where I am, that everything's fine, and yeah, the new podcast will be coming up soon. You can also, if you don't already follow me on Instagram, you can either follow the channel or me. I update me personally as often as possible. If I'm quiet, you usually know that means I'm in hermit mode, and there probably isn't going to be an episode anytime soon. Yeah, so if I'm quiet on Instagram, I'm just in a quiet mood. The Yarn Waffle Instagram, I put as much details as on finished objects and episodes as I can, but there isn't a lot of waffle that goes on there unless it's ridiculously funny, and I feel that you guys that don't follow me on both need to see it too. Then it goes on there. But yeah, my personal account is mainly just knitting and cats, but as I've said before, that's kind of what we're here for, isn't it? Yeah. So, thank you for watching, thank you for sticking around to the end. I'll be back soon, hopefully, and take care. Hope you're all doing really well. Say hi, leave me a comment, say hi, and I'll see you soon. Bye!